Happy lunch hour, gang. Okay, Tuesday afternoon and still plodding along, but it's getting very interesting here. Lot of I don't want to use the term world leaders, but a lot of notable people in the news here in the last 24 hours, uh, which makes things kind of interesting because none of whom are really friendly to the cause. Let's put it that way. Uh, We'll just go through all four of them here. The biggest news, if you guys have seen this one yet, uh, everybody's friend Klaus Schwab is stepping down from his chairmanship of the World Economic Forum. Granted, the guy's 86. Okay, so retirement is eventually something to do. I get a kick out of the fact that everybody's calling him a visionary. Yeah, if he's a visionary, a blind man, right? Okay, stupidity. But the globalists are all running around trying to go, oh, who are we going to worship now? Don't worry, Klaus has that taken care of. He has appointed his children to take over for him, and his wife is going to be running their fundraising and their passing out awards. Here, congratulations, you've contributed to the destruction of mankind. You get an award. Okay. It's along the same lines of like George Soros saying that he's going to step back and let his son Alex take over. Alex is more of a raving lunatic than his father is. You can pretty much assure that Klaus Schwab's kids are going to be worse than himself, and not that he's any prize in itself. So yes, we're soon to be losing Klaus Schwab as an arch nemesis. He looks like a villain, not a Batman anyway. But what was the one? Egghead, I think it was, from the old cartoon. Yeah, that would be appropriate. You look at the clothing this guy wears. It looks like he came out of some sort of Star Trek episode. But that was the first one. Then you, of course, know about Ibrahim Raisi, the former president of Iran, died in a helicopter crash. We're going to wait to see how this is because there's no. The cause of death, obviously, is the helicopter crashed, but there's no report yet as to why the helicopter crashed. Now, could it have been pilot error? Could it have been a missile? Who knows what it was? Could it have been some sort of space weapon or, go back. You don't know what the reason is. Think about a few years ago, Kobe Bryant and that helicopter crash. They were all over trying to figure out what caused the crash. Now, granted, that was the United States, and we're talking about Iran. But it's surprising that we have heard nothing whatsoever so far as even why they think the helicopter went down. You think when the head of state was killed in a accident that you might know something. But again, it's Iran, so you can guarantee that nothing that they tell us is going to be believable. Whether or not they say that Israel did it, who knows? But there will be some sort of spin put on that one. And then, of course, you have, speaking of Israel, the ICC filing charges, war criminal charges against Benjamin Netanyahu. Of course, you have to remember who was the instigator of those charges being filed. That would be Amal Clooney, George Clooney's wife. Okay. Yeah, not exactly somebody that I'd call the intellectual, brilliant mind. But, again, we want to talk about how pro-Biden the Clooneys are. That every time there's a fundraiser, George and Amal have to come. We'll raise a bunch of money. Okay, if you're stupid enough to support Joe Biden, okay, again, let's look at what's happening here. Will this negatively affect Joe Biden? Sure, okay, because Biden has mishandled the whole Hamas-Israel thing beautifully, okay. Personally, I love the fact that he's pissed off all the Muslims in the country, and he's pissed off all the Jews at the same time. Good job, Joe. Everything, never underestimate Joe's ability to fuck things up. Did it again. So you get Amala Clooney being the legal advisor, because so many models are brilliant legal minds, doing all the investigative work for the ICC to basically convict Benjamin Netanyahu. I'm sorry, I'm still going to go into this, and the defense for any of them is, last October, who attacked who? Okay. Do you expect Israel to go, no, gee, you know what, you killed a couple of thousand people, raped women, murdered children, but that's okay, no big deal. No, they're going to go after you with vengeance. Good, okay, as they should. And then, of course, you get Robert Kennedy, the guy everybody's kind of forgotten about in the elections. Remember that he has not been invited to the debates. Yeah, I'm still waiting. I'll still give it a 50-50 chance they ever happen. But not invited to the debates that are going to be hosted by CNN and ABC. Why Trump agreed to that, I have no idea, but it's not like there's a whole lot of conservative networks out there that would actually give Trump a fair shot in these debates. But so Kennedy came out and said to Maria Bartiromo that, he believes the climate is an existential threat, which I'm going to disagree with him. He said he has no problems for people that don't believe that. Good, okay, so I'll agree with you. But what he does say, and this I will agree with him, is if he says if we do regular environmental protection right, the climate will take care of itself. Yeah. And you look at what we've done over the last 50 years, if all these thieves would stop stealing catalytic converters, okay, we'd be okay because we don't have as much car pollution. If people would stop throwing garbage out the window, if people would clean up their neighborhoods, I'm talking to you cities, okay? If people would clean up their neighborhoods, we wouldn't have all the problems, okay? We have clean burning coal. We have all the traps, if you will, for any sort of pollution coming out of factories. What we need to do, and this is where I'll agree with them, if we do the regular environmental protection correctly, what we need to do is stop all the corruption, okay, that is in amongst all these businesses where, we'll dump a bunch of sewage in the Ohio River, or think of Flint, Michigan. When we get rid of all the corruption between business and politicians, that would probably take care of everything that we need to do. Wouldn't be a big problem. So, all being said, we have a lot of talking heads, a lot of influential people making the news here, and all of them affect us because you go through this. Globalism, the World Economic Forum, that's going to kind of change a little bit right now. Maybe we don't have to listen to their bullshit for, months, going right into our election. Maybe with everything that happened with Iran and their president, maybe they straighten things out a little bit. The people in Iran haven't exactly been happy with the tyrannical regime of Raisi anyway. So maybe they get somebody who's not such a Islamic hardliner. The whole thing with Netanyahu kind of ties into playing with Iran, with what's going on there. Does anybody expect Netanyahu to go, Amal Clooney is causing me problem? I don't care. She's a nobody. Okay. And then, of course, you get RFK. I would love to see RFK in the debate. Not that he has a chance in hell of getting my vote, but I would love to see him challenge from the left Biden's policies. But then, of course, you're starting to hear from people on the left that there's talk about Biden stepping down, and the latest now is we're hearing maybe we should run Kamala Harris. That would be hilarious. Have a good one. We'll see you tonight. Pinball out.